certain standards you are held up to, you know, and you try to do this, you try to do this, and I figured that you are not able to satisfy everybody. So the number one person you should be satisfying, you should start living for yourself. What do you want? This is your life, you know, this is your destiny. It's your story to write, and, you know, you should be the author of that. So I no longer, I mean, it hurts every now and then, but when people judge you and talk about you, you just have to step back and breathe and realize that they don't have that much power over you given. It's only given to them because you care. And once you stop caring about what other people do, you start living for yourself.
Word 'em up, word 'em up, word 'em up. That's so good. That is such great advice. Don't you guys feel the wisdom? Whoa. Okay, so now let's dig into you digging into the past. Tell me about this, nephew. What do you mean? You can go into the past. Do you change it? Do you see it? Do you feel it? Tell me.
Oh, and okay, I'm going to tell you a story, and it's really crazy. I don't know if you remember, but I actually went into the past, and it wasn't even my life. I went into somebody else's life.
Ooh, tell me more.
It was, I remember being younger, and I believe I was streaming. It had, but I remember playing in peanut butter with this other kid, you know, and we were like the best of friends, or we was family or something, and we was just playing in peanut butter, and we was young, you know, mad young, just sitting in peanut butter playing. And when I asked my mom, I'm like, oh, you know, she don't remember it. She doesn't remember it. And it's like a couple years later, there was a picture, and it showed the kid who I was and another kid who I've seen in my dream playing in peanut butter or sitting down. I don't know if they was playing in peanut butter or sitting down. And I was like, oh, that was me. This is what I was talking about. And they was like, no. I was like, what do you mean? Like, that was, you know, I remember that. And it ended up being my Uncle Junior. And I don't know if it was one of his friends or one of his cousins or somebody else. But it was them two when they were younger. I was like, I lived it. I was there, you know.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty crazy. And there would be times to where I remember things that probably I lived in a different lifetime that I brought over into this lifetime. Certain, what's the word? Certain memories, certain abilities, certain talents. Like, I'm very intact in music. And me being 17 at this time, I would say I have a very old soul as far as music-wise and very diverse. And you know, when you talk to 17-year-olds these days about music, they don't go back to, you know, they probably go back to the 90s, but they don't go back to Pink Floyd or the 80s, to Cyndi Lauper, to Stevie Nicks, to Earth, Wind and Fire. You know, you don't really hear that, to even Elvis Presley. And I feel like I can appreciate all these different cultures, this diverse music, all these many different things, is because I've lived it before, you know?
Wow, that's a really great point. You know, especially for those of us who believe in multiple realities or multiple lifetimes, because I definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, believe in it. But I never really thought about maybe that's why we're attracted to things that are beyond our years, is because of a previous life that we lived in another time, or an alternate reality that we're living even in this moment.
Right.
Wow. So when you have these memories or these experiences, do they occur to you in dreams, or are you sitting and you have a vision, or like how do you experience these type of events?
It started off in dreams. That's probably why I like sleeping so much. So it started off in dreams, and then it'll be like sometimes where I'm just in class and doing my work, and I know I'm still doing my work, but my mind is off and a vision is going. So I'm multitasking. My conscience is not there. My physical body is still doing what I need to do, but a vision will come, and I'm seeing it as, as I'm doing what I need to do. And it comes in visions. It comes in different things. I've seen it in a mirror before when I was looking at myself. It was just...
You said in a mirror?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wait, hold on. In a mirror? Hold on. Roll it back, roll it back, roll it back. What happened when you looked in the mirror?
My face changed. Like, it was another person staring at me for a second. And I was like, what? Like, who? And it was a voice in my head. And I forgot what it said, but it was saying something to me. And that person, looked back at me, and while I smiled, they smiled. And I looked down and looked back up, and it was back to me. So it'll come however it needs to come.
Wow. And that's so interesting. The only time, I can't say that. I was going to say the only time that I had an experience where my face changed. It was in an alternate reality of me when I used to do drugs. I wasn't some drug head, but I experienced around with drugs in my younger years. Thank God that I've evolved. I'm so glad. But that was such a scary experience for me because I remember looking in the mirror and my whole face looked like of what some people would call a demon. And the whole experience that I had that whole night felt like death, okay? It really just felt like death. And so maybe that was like some alternate reality that I was experiencing also. But, in my time now where I'm evolved and balanced and I know how to have my own natural high by being myself, thank you, God. I'm so grateful because it's taken a lot of work to get here. But I can look in the mirror, and if I look in my eyes, like I really look in my eyes, it's almost like I can see my own soul. So besides your face changing, do you ever just stare at your eyes in the mirror?
Yes.
And what happens when you do that?
Sometimes I get lost. I really do. Sometimes I get lost. Sometimes my eyes change colors too. It just depends, and I feel like that's another way you can connect to your spiritual self too. I think, because the saying the eyes is the window to your soul is very true, and that's why when I talk to people, I make sure I have direct eye contact because it's how us humans connect to each other, or how we used to before technology came around and before times changed. But if you have a conversation and look someone deep into their eyes and just stare and have, eye contact, that conversation is way more deep or way more effective than it would be, say, if two people are on the phone or texting while you're having a conversation.
I totally agree with that. I really, really agree with that because it's such a difference in relationships. It's such a difference in communication with anybody when you can look in their eyes. And I couldn't look in my eyes when I was before my awakening. I had my spiritual awakening to becoming my true self almost 4 years ago. And before then, I was in a horrible depression. And during that depression, I wouldn't take any pictures. I could not look at myself in the mirror. I could not look at my eyes in the mirror. And I think that's because I could see all the crud that was in me and I couldn't face it. And maybe that's like, I'm thinking even during that time, I don't think I could look at anybody else in the eyes either because maybe you don't want other people to see what's going on inside if the eyes are the window to the soul. What do you think about that, Daniel?
I think it's very true. I think, is it okay if I ask you a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so during that time and you couldn't look yourself in the eye, was you consciously aware that you wasn't comfortable with other people looking you in the eye?
No, I didn't know what was going on. I just knew that I wasn't myself. Like my normal self is bubbly, positive, everything always goes right. During this time, I was negative. I was drinking every day. I was smoking cigarettes like crazy. I was not my life. And when I mean that, I mean the vibrancy of who I am. That was all gone. So I couldn't recognize a lot of things that was going on. I had no clue I wasn't looking at people in their eye. Until I evolved past that point and I stopped drinking and I stopped smoking and I really got myself clean from the inside out, that I looked back and I could see, wow, I could see the difference. You know what I'm saying? Does that answer your question?
Yes. And then at that time, would you say your spiritual self was aware of that? But since there was no connection to your spiritual self at that time, you wasn't able to process it? But once you connected and you look back, now you see what happened?
You know what? I think that's a really great way to put it. Because I could always feel like a call for my spiritual self, which is that the I am that I am, that just normal me, the vibrant me, right. the light me. I could always feel the call for it, but it felt so far away that I could barely hear it, Yes. Wow, Danielle, it's already that time. Oh, I love talking to you. Everybody, thank Danielle for coming on the show. I hope you guys have become enlightened through this conversation. Thank you so much, Danielle, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have any last words for our audience?
Follow your first feeling, because that is your intuition, and stay strong.
Right on. If you are out there and you have felt some sort of connection to your inner self and to the inner self of other people, not just what we see, being able to feel beyond what your eyes see, and you just didn't know what to do about it. If you felt alone, you felt alienated, you felt like you were going crazy, you are not by yourself. We have this show to talk about the things that most of us are just too scared to talk about because we're afraid of being judged. This is a judge-free zone. There's only love here. And on the website, we'll be posting everybody that's on this show so that you can connect with our insiders on their insight, and we can all just help each other grow and evolve, because what's life to live it alone, right? Let's become our very best self. Don't be afraid of your gifts. Don't be afraid of your brightness. Don't be afraid of your grandest self. Let that be free. Don't be afraid of being judged by others, because most times people judge others because they're being judged. And most times people judge others because they don't understand what's going on. And if they don't understand, it's not really your responsibility to prove it to them. The universe has a way of working these things out on its own. But really focus on getting in touch with your soul, your spirit, that truth that you know you are, because it's real. There is more than just your flesh and bone. And if you can see beyond, allow yourself to do that. Practice. Really delve into it. Break apart your dreams. See what it really means, because there's always a deeper meaning. There's always a deeper meaning. The universe is always whispering to you. It's always just God is there for you. Whatever God is to you. That higher, thing, that spirit that is greater than all of us, but it is all of us. Connect with that. Connect with your truth. Connect with your passion. And know that we love you and we've got your back. I'm sending positive energy out to each and every one of you all the time. I am sending light to you all of the time. And you already know I am sending love. Thank you so much for joining us here on Chakra Light Radio. Talk to you tomorrow.